Hey, if you're anyone like who's the most any one of us, who's not so extra but extra enough, who watches or keeps an eye on how things are changing very quickly in our societies, not that there has never ever been change within the human progress on this planet, but I think that when we look at how our society today, especially in our country, the demands of needing for direction to be in one particular way, especially where our politicians are concerned, you'll notice that there are things that are coming up all the time around social media, around gangs and around policing. And if you are a cosmic wahine and you are moving and living within Tāmaki Makaurau, in particular the CBD, this Māori cosmic wahine has been offering up, I suppose, her chill on guidance of how you might navigate your way through this many changing elements and aspects of ourselves and our city. And so if it is something that you are interested in, then welcome to this week's Talking Blog. Tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Sienna Raymond. If you're returning, I would say kia ora. Welcome to the Talking Blog, which is in its essence a format that's created as a way of thinking about the Cosmic Wahine Guide to Living in Tāmaki Makaurau CBD. That's quite a mouthful. But so this week I really wanted to touch on this whole social media ban that's come up, and especially as it's happening in Australia, and there have been talks of it happening here in Aotearoa. And I wanted to just focus on that one social media platform in particular that is putting forward a protest, and that's YouTube. And it is a very, like we all know, YouTube has been around since forever, don't we? I mean, gosh, I remember the very early days that I discovered YouTube back in 2011, and it was it was this rudimentary video uploading video site, and at the same time Vimeo was just starting out as well. YouTube has grown into this, gosh, it's a Goliath. It is just huge platform of all types of genres, knowledge. I don't need to tell you I'm preaching to the converted here, but YouTube wanted to say that it was not a social media platform, that it is about education. And I found that really interesting as I listened to the fors, and of course there's all the againsts. But when I have a YouTube channel called The Courier of I, under Sienna Raymond, and I watch YouTube. That's my main go-to for connecting into the collective mind out there. And anyone who knows YouTube knows that the algorithms can be extremely annoying and create so much confusion. Because I often notice on YouTube, and I do go on to X to put it to the YouTube team, why am I seeing videos on particular subjects that are like 10 years old? And most of the content that I do see on YouTube when I flick through, especially the shorts, it's only the shorts, they are all stitched together by a lot of different content creators. So you'll get a content creator that has this really penchant for using Joe Rogan at the start of the video. And because if you watch Joe Rogan's, or you've listened to any of his podcasts, when he's got a guest on, he'll reference a video, and he'll say to his manager, the production manager that's in the studio at the time, hey, so-and-so, play that video. Well, this content creator loves to use that as an introduction to his stitching. So they stitch videos of comedians or particular inspirational speakers, and it's so seamless that you couldn't really know. You would be at first tricked by the stitch. You think young people wouldn't know that. They wouldn't know that Joe Rogan has nothing to do with this kind of comedian, and that the context of the content is not accurate. And that is the case with many of the YouTube shorts. In fact, all of them are like that I have seen. And that's quite a big thing for me to say, all of them. And it's so much so, like when you watch the cat videos or the dog videos, they're a content creator that's taken them from many hundreds of different videos that have been created by the original person and put up, and recirculated around. And this is how these content creators grow their channels, through getting the likes from the algorithm. So they know how to pick many popular videos and put them together. So that's quite a remarkable thing in editing, and I would pretty much say it's quite expensive as well, because you'd need quite a lot of video editing equipment that's got to be pretty beefy. So I would argue that yes, YouTube is certainly, as far as I can tell by the shorts, a social media platform. It is entertaining, but isn't that what social media is about? It's about entertainment only. But telling young people that over and over and over again, that it is just entertainment, don't take any of it as gospel or for real. But then you've got, with YouTube for the example, you've got things that are real, that are pertinent, that are educational, that are important for all people to know about. But where do young people learn the difference between what's been stitched together by a content creator? Because there are genuine content creators out there that are, picking up videos of funny dog moments and funny cat moments and putting them all together for us to enjoy. But we do know that they come from the original person who uploaded that to YouTube probably 10 years ago. And I have seen some cat videos that are recirculating again that I'm sure I have seen them 10 years ago. But young people wouldn't know that. Many of the young people that go on to YouTube understand, their minds and their needs and their wishes and wants would be at content creation and influence, rather than, is this video real? Did Joe Rogan really have this person on their show? Was this content correct? Is it in context to what Joe Rogan was actually talking about? And it's just one of many examples, I suppose, of how difficult it can be to navigate a site like YouTube and understand that it's just entertainment. On my part, I watch it quite a bit, and I've got to say I'm really bored with it, to be honest. Some of the content's just, it's regurgitated. I keep seeing content that I know I've seen years and years ago, and over and over and over again. And the algorithms on YouTube are so not, they're horrendous. I'll just put it to you that way. I keep seeing European content or Asian content that's got nothing to do with me. Like, it's not my thing. Even if I do like videos that I like, the algorithm won't do that. It will just keep pushing in content that it thinks this has got the most likes, this is what you're going to get today. And none of that makes sense to me, even though I try to guide the algorithm. It's all encompassing. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, but I certainly have really tried over the years to guide the algorithm to what I like, to what I want to see, to what I want to watch. But I think the algorithm pulls information from everywhere else on your Google account and then makes a decision based on that. But hey, I'm here in Aotearoa, and the content I'm looking at is, nothing to what I see of the content on YouTube. So to get back to the point about would it be right to ban YouTube? Here's what I would say, that it is a social media platform, and it is a social media platform with a change and a difference, and that it does introduce a whole lot of other educational material that's very genuine. So this week in Tāmaki Makaurau CBD, so I had a stalker on Saturday. I went down to the key Woolworths downtown, and I just decided I was going to shop down there today rather than at Victoria Street. And I walked down through Queen Street and take a shortcut through Takutai Mall and go out the back way through the back of Galway down to the supermarket. And I crossed over from Takutai to the other side where there's you've got the Scene 1 apartment building and the car park. And a young guy, I saw him walking towards me, and he was agitated. He was talking to himself, and he had his hoodie up. And you know how you get that uh-oh moment that happens, that like uh-oh, and it's a really quiet, ancient, splenic voice that came up, and he literally crossed my path. And I thought, oh dear. And I had been listening to jazz as I was walking down the road because it was such a beautiful, balmy day. And I continued on my walk towards a supermarket, and I saw out of the corner of my eye what looked like a pair of Bata Bullets, old, sand shoes. And I thought, I just kept walking. I thought the person was going to walk past me, and they didn't. Anyway, I did get a sense that somebody was behind me, or somebody was following me, or that kind of feeling, or somebody's behind me. But it wasn't like creepy somebody was behind me, but I did feel creepy about that guy. I get into the supermarket, and it's about 5-minute walk from where I saw him to get into the supermarket, 5, maybe 10, and I'm up the stairs and I'm by the checkouts, and I'm looking back towards the exit, and I see him running up the stairs and running into the back of the store, to the back end of the checkouts, going towards what looks like the toilets. And he's running and agitated and jumping and skipping, and then he turns around and he comes back towards me and he clocks me, and I look at him. And that's when it clicked that it had been him who had been walking beside me. So do I think that the guy was going to mug me? Do I think he was going to attack me, or was he just stalking me? I don't know. But those are not unusual incidences, and they happen all the time to wahine here in the CBD. I'm not the first woman that's been followed around by someone who clearly isn't, who is challenged. And what do I do about it? Do I whip out my phone and take a photo? It all happens so quickly that if for the moment you think, is it like a gust of wind that's just blown past me? Or is it really something that I've got to stop and take notice of? I think because I've had lots of instances like that in the CBD, it's not the first one. Honestly, it's not. There have been so many. And it happens in all cities all over the world. We know this. I think I don't want to have to go back to that place of we have to do defensive walking, and to be defensive walking just means being mindful and engaged in your environment. And it does come down to that sometimes. It's just like a wake-up call and a reminder to me to be watchful about that, because the increase of people sleeping and living on the streets is real. those numbers have definitely gone up, and I have seen the increase of so many people having to sleep and live rough in the CBD has been prominent. From here, well, that's my time. It's 15 minutes. I don't want to go over it, but I do hope that you'll return and hopefully leave a comment or catch me up on my other social media platforms on Instagram under Raymond Siana. And I hope that you definitely enjoy the rest of your week. And if you're a cosmic wahine, ngā mihi ki a koe. Thank you. This is Siana Raymond signing off for the Talking Blog this week.